Great. Well, thanks so much for everybody who's joining us today. Today we are going to be talking about a product called Salesforce Communities. So this is how we can provide self-service portals for a variety of different audiences and different user types. I'm joined Hi, thanks very much for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about Salesforce Communities. So essentially, Salesforce Communities allow us to provide portals for a variety of different people to use. So we can enable communities for your customers, partners, and also your employees. So today we're going to be explaining about this. We're going to provide you with a live demo, and then we're going to explain practical applications of how communities can be used. I'm Dan, I'm Managing Director of Comnexa. I lead our team of Salesforce consultants. I'm also joined by Vladimir. Vladimir is Head of Software Development for a company called Polytech Software. Polytech Software have extensive experience in the Salesforce ecosystem, and Vladimir has built a product which I believe hundreds of Salesforce developers use around the world. So Vladimir will explain a little bit about that in a moment. So as I said, we're going to be going through communities today. So I thought it was best to start with what is a Salesforce community? So you may have seen portals for various companies before. A Salesforce community is essentially a website which people can have access to. You can have a Salesforce community for either your customers, your employees, or even your partners. So we could have a community for your customers. They could log in, they could manage information about themselves, but within a sort of secure portal. So this is an example of a bank in America, and they are using a Salesforce community to allow access into a portal where people can go and self-serve. So instead of having to speak to your team or go into a physical location, the clients could log in and they could complete various transactions on the go. We can also use Salesforce communities for partners. So if you have intermediaries or you have different partner companies around the world, you could perhaps build a Salesforce community for your partners. This would allow your partners to log any leads or business opportunities they have for you, and they could have secure access to certain records in which they collaborate with you. So if we imagine, for example, we have an opportunity which a partner has referred to us, perhaps they could have access to a portal and they could view all of the opportunities that they have referred to you and the status of each opportunity. So we're thinking about the intermediary model, which I know quite a lot of people use. Your intermediaries could perhaps have a community which they log into. We can surface information to them. So we could provide them with the latest sales and product information and product offering and training. We could also provide them secure access to any deals that they're working with us on. And they could also have access to reports and analytics. So they can see the top opportunities and sort of where they are in the pipeline. We can also provide secure access to very rich and detailed analytics from Salesforce. So this is an example of a company who's using this, but actually giving access to Einstein analytics through a community. So your team or your partners could have access to a community, and they could have access to the very sophisticated analytics tools that a community has. It's also worth noting that a community could be used for a variety of things. So if you're a company and you have people who get in touch with requests, or you have to service them, you could perhaps have a community where people can view the latest information, view the latest FAQs, and get in touch with you, but all in a sort of secure way that integrates extremely well with your Salesforce CRM. So we have a short video to show you, and then we're going to go a bit more into the demo of what a community can do.
What if you could deliver beautiful digital experiences that are personalized for your customers and partners? With Community Cloud, you can build sites, portals, and forums faster than ever. Start from a selection of pre-built templates, like a self-service community where your customers can help each other, increasing case deflection and customer engagement. Or a personalized portal where your customers can securely access data and take action on any device. Extend the power of your CRM data to your partners so they can manage their business and sell faster. And because you're building a digital experience on Salesforce, you can extend your CRM to everyone in your community. Drag and drop components, content, and processes. Change the look and feel of your experience to make sure it's on brand and pixel perfect. And use your CRM data to personalize it for every user. You can develop your own custom components and themes. Even access pre-built components and solutions on the App Exchange to innovate faster. Visit Trailhead to get started and see how to build beautiful CRM-powered experiences fast with Community Cloud. Blaze your trail with Salesforce.
Great. So hopefully that provides a brief overview of how a community could be used in a variety of different use cases. It's worth noting that a lot of customers use communities. Will use it for customers who want to get self-help. So sort of as a step between getting in touch with you, they can sort of self-serve and get answers to common questions, etc. A community can also be used for client onboarding. So if you are processing an opportunity and you get to the stage where you require information about your customers, we could actually provide the customers with a secure access to a portal, and they could go through the process of providing or uploading documents, but completely automated. So with this...
what if you could deliver beautiful...
We're not going to play the video game. With this, I'm going to hand over to Vladimir, who's going to explain a little bit more about himself, his background, and then together we're going to run a demo of the community.
Thank you, Dan, and hi everyone. I'm really happy to join Dan and Phil on this webinar, and thank you for joining us. So let me start with a very quick, just a short introduction of myself, so you know who's kind of presenting, and then I'll switch directly to the demonstration. So my name is Vladimir. I'm head of Salesforce development at the Polytech Software company, and I'm also head of product at the Welcome-Suite, the creator of one of the top Salesforce IDEs for developers. I was previously, like 10 years ago, a .NET developer, then I switched to Salesforce developers, then I started doing some consulting in Salesforce, and now I'm leading the team of 30 plus certified Salesforce developers in our company and help businesses to start working with Salesforce. And I also help developers to be more productive using Salesforce and develop for Salesforce faster. So Polytech Software in general, very quickly, we are based in Ukraine and we are founded in like 2006. We are a general software development company and we have more than 300 engineers. At the same time, our Salesforce department was started in 2014. We have, as I said already, like 30 plus Salesforce developers, and we have really completed more than 100 projects. And I completely agree with them that like a lot of customers are using communities, and based on our experience, I'd say we've made about like 30, maybe 35 different projects with communities. And I think the time goes, we have more and more projects with communities, and because it's great. Why explaining to you, I'd better show you why it's great and how we can use it. So here we are in the Salesforce, and like we have a like bailiwick organization, and we have Mark Martins, right then?
Yes. So let's pretend we are in our Salesforce org, and we have a potential opportunity. So Mark Martins is an IFA, and he's advising some clients. So we're going to go through the process of sending Mark Martins access to a community, and then Mark can upload documents and information securely, and we can show you the collection process and how that works.
Exactly. So let's start doing this. I'm on the contacts list. I have a like list of my special contacts that needs verification. So let's jump in and work with Mark. So right now, Mark sorry, Mark. He doesn't have access to community, and I will show you the complete process of getting your customers, partners, employees onboarded to the community as well. It's very easy. So I will just hit here, find here an option to enable customer user, and I will enable customer user for this contact. So you can do this easily for all of your customers, for some of your customers, for very specific ones. It's up to you. But let me just give me a second.
And Mark would receive a branded welcome invitation. So it's all completely brandable. So he'd receive an invitation to join the community and log in.
You're right. And right now I will just change his email to my email. So Mark won't receive it and I will receive it. Just email. So yeah, I'm changing email to my, and now I will create a user for Mark, but with my email. So save this notification says me that Mark will receive invitation email. I'm good to go with this. And I will show, yeah, so here we have Mark. I will just switch to the community, to Salesforce. And here is my email. I won't say it's so branded at the moment, but it could be whatever you want. So Salesforce, as you know, Salesforce has templates and it allows you to do whatever you want with emails. They might look nice and shiny. They might look pretty official. So here's my welcome email. I will just copy the link and I will open it in a separate browser, get the full experience of what Mark will get. So I need to set up my password. And I will join the community. Here is the community. Let's get back to it in a minute. So I get back to Salesforce. I again open Mark. And as we need to verify his identity, we need to get some information from him. We have a special, let's say, checkbox on a contact that says that the data is not yet verified by customer. So on the right side, at the same time, I have a special wizard that provides me an option to request verification from a customer. So here I can very easily select what fields I need the user to provide me. So I don't have his birth date. I want him to confirm his phones, his email, and his address.
This is particularly useful because if we already have his information, we're not asking him to fill it out again, we're just asking him to verify that it is correct. So quite often we see companies who send out forms and we have to fill everything out again. It's quite user-friendly that perhaps they don't have to in this case.
I agree, absolutely agree with you. And on the second step of this wizard, we request what kind of documents we might need from this, like from Mark, to send us. So let it be ID card and let's say electric bill. I hit next. Now it's good. Verification request is sent to the customer and I will be notified once it's confirmed by client. So I can go on and keep doing my regular job, working with other customers and do whatever I need to do. At the same time, I just got an email from Salesforce, or let's say from myself, because it was sent under my user from Salesforce. Please verify your identity. Please log into the customer portal. So now let's switch to the customer portal and let's see what we have here. So it's a very, very simplified portal. It's pretty far from the fancy ones that we've seen on the videos that Dan showed us, but it's just, it has only one purpose: to collect the data from a customer, maybe provide him a bit more information, because yeah, instead of describing a lot of our services or providing additional information about the company via the phone, you can provide this information right here in the community, like some of the topics of our services, what do we provide, different articles. So we can have all of this data in the community, and it's taken from Salesforce. So
it's worth noting that if you have, if you're sort of more, I'd say B2C, and you have a high volume of customers contacting you, the Salesforce technology can learn what people are most often getting in touch about. So if people are getting in touch about a few common things, you could actually surface what are called solutions. So these are solutions to common problems. So people can see this within a community. So instead of having to get in touch, they could self-help.
And it again helps your team, your employees to save their time, and it helps customers to get like whatever information they need much faster and without need to like interact with anyone. But let's move on and let's verify our information. So I hit the button and we have here the list of fields that another Vladimir requested from Salesforce for me to verify. So yeah, I need to enter my birth date. So let it be something.
And we can get quite sophisticated with the level of fields which we're requesting information for. So if you need much more detailed information, all of this can be accommodated with the system.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and I'll stop on this like a bit later over to the end. But yeah, community allows us to build whatever we want in a regular Salesforce way. So we want more information, we'll get it. So it's one of my favorite things here. Always good with my phones, with my email. I see a typo in the mailing address, so I will just fix it. And yep, I hit a checkbox that confirms that the data is correct. I hit next, and I see step to upload my ID card and electric bill copy. So I hit here upload files. I don't have much options here, so it would be Sales Cloud logo.
That's a great looking ID card. I'm sure that will pass the check.
Let's try. Let's check bailiwick security. So upload is done, and now I need to enter like to upload my electric bill. And honestly, I'm not sure what electric bill is expected from. So I see here an option to chat with an expert. So let's try and hit the button and see what happens. So yep, I'm Mark Martins. I don't want to enter the stuff, just start chatting. And let's switch to back to Salesforce. As you see here in Salesforce, I have omnichannel button and it's somehow highlighted. So if I hit on it, I see that chat agent Mark visiting us from the like identity verification page, and he wants to chat with us. Let's chat with him. So Mark sees that someone started to chat with him, and here as a first introduction, just to save my time, I have a pre-configured quick text to just start my communications with any customer. Hi Mark, my name is Vladimir. How may I help you? Yep. Let's pretend that I am Mike. It's a pretty common question if a person should upload the most common utility bill, or it can be a utility bill, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, 4 months, 5 months. So, okay, let's get back to Salesforce for full screen. And honestly, I'm first day in bailiwick, and I'm not a very experienced agent. I don't know what to answer here. I have here a knowledge, and let me just type in utility. So I typed in utility, and I see that in the knowledge base with the identity verification utility bills article. I hit on it. And what do we see here? So article, we don't require most recent utility bill. However, it should be dated within a year, not longer. Okay, I'm pretty lazy one. So I will just copy and paste the text, and I will send it back to Mark. Hope this helps. I'm a friendly guy. Let's get back to Mark. Mark receives my comments. He's pretty quite happy. Sure. And ends the chat. I confirm the chat here. And the chat is ended in Salesforce. We'll get back to Salesforce in a minute. Again, I'm in the community. I close the chat. And now, as I understand that I need to provide I might provide a pretty old bill. I hit here and I select a Service Cloud logo. Why not? I've uploaded my files. I'm happy with my selections, so I hit next. I have successfully completed verification. Thank you for assistance. You're welcome. Once I hit the finish button, I'm redirected to the My Information section in the community, where I can always review my data and make sure that it's correct. So instead of like calling someone from the bailiwick company, I can just correct data if I have a new mobile phone, if I moved, or if I want to chat with them somehow in the chapter.
If the customer was going through a review process, so let's say these documents were uploaded for review, and then we have people who review them, we could actually keep the customer informed in real time about the process that they're in within the community. So they could see which stage of the review they're at. So instead of calling up, they could log in and see, and then additional information could be requested if needed. So let's say, actually, we noticed your ID card is not a real ID document. We could then request that you log back in and upload a new one. So it saves a lot of time.
Let's do this. So now let me get back to Salesforce. I can close this chat and I can get back to Mark. So let me just refresh the page to get everything up to date. And once we're here, we see that the page was changed a bit. I have a checkbox that is verified by customer, and I see here a list of documents. By the way, you can see here a transcript of my chat. So for the future cases, like let's say another employee of Bailiwick company can just take a look and see what was discussed in previous chat with an agent. But let me just open these documents and check what Mark has sent us. So it's electric bill, and it doesn't look like an electric bill. Okay, maybe ID is good. So let's check an ID. Nah, not as good as well. So I can get back here and I can request identity verification once more and just push Mark to, hey bro, please do it nicely. Or I can chat here. By the way, I haven't checked this before the webinar. So let me, it's just yeah, I can't chat here yet, but it's going to be done pretty easily. So I can just write down here. So we can go here in a formal process, like Dan mentioned, and it would be great just to show like regular path with different stages, or we can just chat with our customers in a chatter, and they will see all the communications, posts, documents, and all the other stuff directly in their chatter. So in my case, I'm okay. Let's pretend that it's okay. We have noticed that it's another document, and we are good to go. So in this like very quick way, we've shown you how you can easily provide pretty simple know your customer functionality to your customers. You can very easily reduce amount of communications with the customer and interactions. It's better for everyone. And as Dan said, it's like really the best point of the community is that it's built on top of Salesforce. It deals directly with data in Salesforce, and it's very easy to customize it in any way as we want. So if you'd like to receive much more information, okay, it's not a problem. If you want to build in this identity verification as a part of, let's say, opportunity process, so if an opportunity appears with some certain conditions, we just trigger the button as email is sent to a customer, we can do it very easily. If you want to have, let's say, sophisticated process, like in case, let's say, if you're, I don't know, different case, but let's say if you're under 30, you provide one document. If you're above like 65, you provide another set of documents and all the other stuff. It can be done very easily, and your users can receive this information directly in the community. By the way, short and quick point here, in the case if your users, like customers, if they need any help and support from your side, as Dan mentioned, Salesforce can learn the questions that people ask and provide knowledge-based articles based on their requests. And at the same time, we can provide a way to communicate with our company right from here. So if there is an issue, I can create a case directly in the community, and it will appear in Salesforce in a usual way. So no phone calls, no in-person visits to offices, no mess, everything on the self-service portal very quickly and without any issues. So that was a very quick demo of community and just only one case of how it could be used. I pretty much imagine that all of you have in your head right now a lot of other options how you can use it for your business. And let me stop sharing my screen and let then highlight a couple of other cases how we can use this in business and for our proposals.
Great, thanks very much for that very detailed demo. Hopefully that demonstrated to everybody how powerful this technology can be if used correctly. Let me just start the presentation again. Great. So as suggested, there are many different applications of how a community can be used. So we could use a community for customers. So customers could log in, as we showed, they could upload KYC documentation, they could log cases, they could interact with their records in your CRM system. We could also use it for partners, as I explained earlier. So if you have intermediaries or you have partners, they could have a login to a community and they could contribute and collaborate on certain CRM records with you. And you can also use this for your staff. So hopefully your staff would have access to Salesforce CRM, but a lot of people are now using Salesforce Communities as intranet replacements. So you can actually use it to power your intranet. So your staff could have access to help information, information to help them do their jobs, onboarding, but you could do all of this through a staff community. So that's pretty powerful. I also just wanted to point out that, as we know, Salesforce has the App Exchange, which is the App Store for Salesforce. There are hundreds of pre-existing apps available which can integrate with communities. One example of which is there are a few KYC apps available on the App Exchange. So if we had a customer go through a process in a community to upload their information about themselves, their age, their address, their documentation, we could then automate the process of KYC by using an app from the Salesforce App Exchange. So there are many different ways of using communities. And if anyone would like to explore more, I recommend having a more in-depth discussion with us about how a community could work for your specific use case. I just wanted to point out, as we have on many of these virtual events in the past, that Salesforce are running an extremely generous offer at the moment called Salesforce Care. Salesforce Care is essentially various parts of Salesforce which they are giving out for free for around 90 days. One of which is they are offering this support package. So if you have customers or team members who you need to support, you can sign up to this Salesforce Care package for free for 90 days, and there is no commitment. It also includes the community features that we showed you, and also the live chat functionality that we showed you earlier. I'd recommend having a look at this. If you are an existing Salesforce customer, you can also take advantage of these products, which are added on for 90 days. So as I said, if anyone is interested in exploring this, please do get in touch with us. So hopefully that's rounded off communities. We are hopefully joined by Phil from our team. There he is, that was quick. Phil, do we have any questions for anybody?
We do. Good presentation, guys. A few quick questions. And if anybody else has any questions, you can submit them in the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. First, we have one for Vladimir. You delivered a demo of the chat facility. Could this be achieved using a bot?
Sorry?
So you delivered a demonstration of the chat facility. Could this be achieved using a bot so that you don't necessarily have to have an agent replying?
Yeah. So there are like Einstein bots for Salesforce, and they allow AI bots for such cases. They could be like trained and learned a bit, but afterwards they will help handling a lot of situations on their own. So it's possible.
Sure. We had another question, which is, could Salesforce Communities be used as a portal for members?
So in general, there are like, I'd say 3 different types of communities, like partner community, customer community, and employee community. And in general, like everything could be done within communities, and you can like employ community for any kind of usage, for any kind of your, let's say, contacts. So with whoever you work, you can provide them access to a community with like a different set of functionality, with different abilities, with different interface, and it will work very nicely.
I know that a lot of not-for-profit organizations will utilize communities. So if you have volunteers or you have people who support you, they can have access to a community and they can actually say which skills they have and when they're available. And then you can use the community for scheduling your volunteers at different places. Obviously, it doesn't have to be volunteers. You could also use it for scheduling staff, but yeah, very flexible.
We've got another one here, which was, I was interested in learning, in the learning solutions function. Can these common questions and answers be reviewed by an administrator, or are they auto-populated?
They're not. They're not really auto-populated. So usually somebody would assign a solution to a problem. Am I right in saying that, Vladimir?
Yeah, in general, yeah. But if you talk about like Einstein bots, so it's more of like learning. If you talk about Life Agent and Einstein bots, they are more of like self-assigned. And ideally, I'd say you should review the questions, because as with any AE, it might result in some funny cases at the beginning when it just like learns and it's not so smart as we'd like.
And our final couple of questions, I think, were really answered after the questions were asked. The first one was about branding the community. And I think it became quite clear that we can brand a community however we like. We've also worked alongside.
I was just saying, sorry, Phil. When you saw the demo of the community, it was on a force.com domain name. That can all be completely white labeled as well. So you don't have to mention Salesforce at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have worked alongside web developers in the past to make very sophisticated looking pages as well. And the final question, this was also answered, but it was asking about, can the solution be used as a self-service portal for employees? We did touch on that, and I'd just like to add about employees using it as a place to find resources. And Dan talked about the onboarding process. This can be integrated with learning resources such as Salesforce's Trailhead. So hypothetically, if you had new joiners joining a business, you'd be able to put them on a online learning platform so that they could learn the skills they need to do in the first couple of days of their employment. Also, when you talked about members, Dan, we could also use it for businesses who maybe have customers on account. So hypothetically, if a business is billing somebody on a monthly basis, someone can log in and view their latest billing information. An example of this is, I'm fairly sure Virgin Media use it in the UK. So customers can log in and check when their latest bill was paid, when their latest bill is due, and what their package is looking like. And they can even self-serve to do things like upgrade. So all that is capable within a community, and it's pulling data from Salesforce. And that was the last of our questions. So thank you to the guys again. And if anybody has any further questions, then feel free to contact us and we can help.
Great, thanks very much for joining. There will be a recording of this available on our website, probably in a few hours. So if anybody wants to watch back or share it with any colleagues, then you're more than welcome to. So once again, thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.